All right, so welcome to our last video lesson covering the last unit of our book. So this is unit 16. We're going to be going over the primary chords in our new key of G major that we've been talking about. There are a lot of pieces to cover in this unit, and you guys have learned so much already so far. So I'm going to play through a couple of these, definitely give you some demonstrations of things, but I'm going to let you work on your own on some of these things and kind of just give you guys a little bit more freedom and independence to try out a few of these last little things on your own. So we are going to talk really quickly about our primary chords in G major. So looking over at 160, we're talking about our D7 chord, which is our 5-7 chord in the key of G major. So in the key of G major, our 1 chord is a G chord, okay? And our 5-7 chord is a D7 chord. Now, this yellow box over here goes through all of the notes of the D7 chord in root position and the D7 inverted chord and going through all of that kind of stuff. That's definitely important, information to know. Sometimes that can be a little bit confusing. Here's all you need to know. The 1 chord in G major is a G major chord and has the notes G, B, D. The 5-7 chord in G major has the notes F sharp, C, D. Those are the notes of the 5-7 chord. So if you go this, F sharp, C, D, that's the 5-7 chord. That's the D7 chord. That's really all you need to know. So there are 2 little warm-ups down there at the bottom of page 160 for practicing playing your D7 chord for the left hand and right hand. So feel free to go through those. Then if we look at Alexander March on page 161, notice we have all of our chords written in. On the top, it has that letter name, the G or D7, and then on the bottom, it has the Roman numeral name, 1 or 5-7. I might go through and, if you want to take like a highlighter or something and create one color for the 5-7 chord, one color for the 1 chord, that might be really helpful for you. And definitely go back and forth and kind of practice doing this over and over again until you can play that really, really comfortably. And then I'm just going to demonstrate this one all the way through as it goes with both hands. The left hand part is really pretty simple on this one, just those straight chords. Keep in mind that we do have our key signature of F sharps, so it's going to be F sharps throughout. That's in the beginning of each line. And I'll just call it the chord names as we go. 1, 2, ready, go. G, D7, G, stretch 1 down, 5-7, G, D7, stretch 1, 1. So, pretty straightforward. A good rhythm exercise for the right hand, so you might want to go through and tap that rhythm out loud. And again, if you can play this one, you should be really comfortable playing with your 1 and 5 chords in the left hand. So definitely give that a try through. I would encourage you to practice it hand separately if you need to and if you find that helpful for preparing this one. And then we'll go ahead and turn right on over, and we're looking at Amazing Grace. So one of my favorite things about this book that I really do like is that they like to introduce certain melodies or songs way early in the book, and then they bring them back later on. So if you guys remember from all the way back at the very beginning of this book, Amazing Grace is the first song that you ever play. And back in the very beginning of the book, you're not even reading the notes at that point. It's just reading finger numbers on the black keys. And so it kind of comes full circle, and they bring it back here at the end where now you're reading your full chords, reading notes, reading rhythms, all of that good stuff. So this one also has our chord names written in above each measure. If you want to write in the Roman numeral names below, that would also be fine. Again, they're totally interchangeable. You can say 1, you can say 5/7. It is totally up to you. There is one place in this piece where we'll notice that we actually have another chord besides our G or our D7 chord. We have a couple of places where we have the C chord at the beginning of measure 3 and at the beginning of measure 11. So again, the left hand is already written in for us, but it's just kind of showing how we can move around through a couple of different chords in this song. So I'll go ahead and play both parts on this one, both the left hand and right hand together. I'll say the chord names out loud, and then I'll play the teacher accompaniment part. 1, 2, 3, ready, go. G, G, C, G, G, D7, G, G, jump down, C, G, G, D7, G, left hand over. Great. So again, definitely feel free to practice that one hand separately several times. We have lots of changes and switches between the right hand and left hand in this one. So getting that coordination is definitely a little bit of a challenge on this one, and you are more than welcome to give this one a try hand separately. So here we go with the teacher accompaniment. And you'll come in on the D, your first note, the of amazing, with all by yourself, and then I join you on the next note. 1, 2, 3, ready, go. Gorgeous. So definitely give that one a try with the teacher part. Again, playing with the teacher parts is definitely a challenge. It's a way to make the songs a lot more challenging. And it's especially difficult on a video because typically if we were in, a lesson in person or something, I as the teacher would try to follow you while you were playing. So if you slowed down, I would slow down with you. If you sped up, I would speed up with you. Well, unfortunately, I can't really do that if I'm recording it in advance. So you kind of have to follow me, and that's something that is not really easy to do when you're in the learning phases and everything. So that doesn't mean that it's impossible. It just means it's a really good challenge and something that is a little bit different for you to do and really tests your skills. So now we have over here on page 164, we're learning about inverting the 4 chord in G major, which is our C chord. So they're just going through, again, the C chord in root position, how they invert it. All you need to know for our purposes is, again, so our G chord in the key of G major, our 1 chord is a G chord. It has the notes G, B, D. In the key of G major, our 5/7 chord is a D7 chord. It has the notes F sharp, C, D. And in the key of G major, our 4 chord is a C chord, and it has the notes G, C, E. That's all we need to know. So they have those little exercises on the bottom of 164. Go through and practice playing that inverted 4 chord for left hand and for right hand. Give that a go several times until you can do that one pretty easily. Then I'm going to play the warm-up at the top of page 165 for you. So both hands in G position. I'll call out the chords. G, blocked chord. C, G, E, G, C, E. G, C, E, blocked chord. G, D7, G. I'm going to repeat that, and this time I won't mess up the note names. G, B, D, blocked chord. G, C, E, blocked chord. G chord. D7 chord. G. Excellent. So now we're going to take a look at French dance. This one is in the key of G major. Big surprise. Keep in mind that we have our F sharps throughout this entire song, and we're going back and forth between all of those primary chords that we've learned. So you might want to go through and mark the Fs in this one to remember that those are going to be F sharps. We're also learning about first and second endings from the repeat. So this is pretty straightforward. It looks kind of scary. So we're going to play this first pickup note here. Then we go in and we see that we have our open bar line with the dots on it. So that means we're going to play this whole section. We're going to play up through measure 6. Then we reach this first ending. It's got that little bracket over it with the 1 at the beginning. We're going to play those 2 measures. So and then we go back to our first full measure, where we have the first notes that are inside our repeat signs. So then we go, if I'm starting from that bottom line, starting from measure 6, I would have measure 6, first ending, then I go back to measure 1, and I'm going to keep going. This is going to be repeating. Now when I reach measure 6, I'm going to go to the second ending. I'm going to skip over those first 2 measures of that first ending, that second time, and go to the second ending. So again, it's really exactly what it sounds like. It's exactly what it looks like. The first time you play it, you're going to play these 2 measures. The second time you play it, you're going to skip those and play those 2 measures. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate this one, saying the chord names out loud. 1, ready, go. G, C, G, C, G. First ending coming up. First ending. Then I go back to the beginning. Get ready to skip to the second ending. Second ending. D7, G. So hopefully that makes some kind of sense to you, how we're going to do that one. And again, with this one, feel free to write in those Roman numerals, the 1, the 4, and the 5, 7, underneath each chord. That way you learn the both the letter names of the chords and those Roman numeral symbols that we're going to use as well. So then we're going to move on over to page 166. Polovetzian. That's what I thought it was. That's how I thought it was pronounced. Okay. I just had a moment where I was like, have I been pronouncing this wrong my whole life? So Polovetzian dance in the key of G major. We're going to go ahead and give this one a try. Go through first things first. Identify your chords in the left hand. Write in what the name of each chord is. You can do the letter names, the Roman numerals, both. And then I would definitely recommend practicing this one hand separately several times, especially with some of those finger changes that we have in the right hand. But since this is the last video and you guys are ready to leave the nest now, I'm just going to play it through with both hands to start with, and then I'll play the teacher part. 1, 2, ready, go. That one is just so pretty. Great. And then here is the teacher part. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, ready, go. So, just an absolutely beautiful one, and that one, again, I would definitely recommend that you put in the practice and everything so that you can try to do that one with the teacher accompaniment part, because it just sounds so nice all together. So then we will take a look at, we have another little lead sheet reading, just like we had with the Home on the Range. So you'll play the chords that are listed above the melody line with your left hand, and then you'll play that melody with your right hand. You can add blocked chords. You can play G, C, G. If you want to do a little broken chord, broken chord would be fine. Waltz. That would all be fine. So I'll just go ahead and demonstrate this one again for you. These are pretty straightforward. You can definitely go through and practice just the chords alone and then just the melody alone. And I'll just demonstrate saying those chord names out loud. 1, 2, 3, ready, go. G, 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 C, G, D7, G, and C, and you're going to kind of pause here. Keep going. G, D7, G, G, C, G, G, C, G. Then you go back to the beginning, we have a da capo. G, C, G, D7, G, get ready to kind of pause here. how you do the lead sheet. And again, they have that little reference for the chords, exactly what you're going to do up there. But again, this is your opportunity to just be a little creative with how you want to do this one, how you would like to do the chords in the bottom and all of those kind of things. And again, they have those opportunities for you to kind of be dramatic with your timing on this one. So again, take this as an opportunity to kind of be a little bit creative, work a little bit like a pop musician and kind of make it your own. So here we have Banua on page 170 to 171, and this is a Liberian folk melody. This one is definitely one of the challenge pieces that we have here. So give yourself ample time to practice this hand separately. Definitely clap through your rhythms on this one, because that's a little bit more complicated. We have a lot of ties, and that adds a lot of real excitement and energy to the melody, but it's also a little bit tricky and something that you're going to want to be careful of here. And then go ahead and mark in your chords any times that you have F sharps throughout this one. And again, just give yourself ample time to practice this one hands separately. Here we go with both hands through from the very beginning. Remember that first line repeats. 1, 2, ready, go. So a whole lot of fun on that one. Again, very challenging in a lot of places, but a great one to give yourself some time to practice. We have the Music Box Etude in G major. I'll go ahead and play through this one, saying the finger numbers out loud. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, ready, go. 5, 3, 1, 1, 3, 1, 5, 3, 5, 3, 1, 1, 3, 1, 5, 5, 2, 1, 1, 3, 1, 5, 3, 5, 2, 1, 1, 3, 1, 5, 4, 2, 1, 1, 4, 1, 5, 4, 4, 2, 1, 1, 4, 1, 5, 5, 3, 1, 1, 3, 1, 5, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 2. So there is that one. We have a little theory page going over our primary chords in G major, your last theory page to fill out. And then finally, we have our review song, Carnival of Venice. And I'm going to go ahead and play through this one for you. Definitely take your time to practice this one hands separately, tap through your rhythms, and mark in your chords and F sharps and everything for this one when you play. And I'll just go ahead and give you a demonstration of this one all the way through. 1, ready, go. last challenge in the book with that song, a little bit of a last hurdle for you to get over. But also, again, if you can play that one and you can get it up to tempo a little bit, it's going to sound really great, and you're going to sound really polished and professional on the piano, and people are going to be wowed that you can play songs like that. So, just to go over what we have at the very last part of the book, 176 through 177 is those 5-finger patterns for major. We also have the crosshand arpeggios in major on the next 2 pages. And then we have a nice long musical dictionary going through all of the terms and topics that we've talked through. So if you need to reference any ideas, you can definitely look at those pages in the back of the book for help.